About the payback system. For a start, are you a person who has to oversee or manage multi-unit properties, such as condominiums, or like gated communities, or even commercial buildings? If you are, please pay attention. Based on our research, we find that 25 to 50% of property maintenance fees are not being collected on time. Now you'd say, okay, but so what? How does this affect me? Well, several ways. What if collected fees is less than expenses? You'd realize that you might soon need to increase your maintenance fee. That's because if not all owners are paying up the fees, then the ones who are paying are going to have to pay more to cover up for the amount of fees that the rest are not paying for. Secondly, you must start to reduce the services or the soft salaries. You probably need to begin to reduce the number of security personnel you have, or reduce the landscaping, or delay repairs and maintenance that's overdue because you have to save costs because you don't have enough funds in your management account. Eventually, you might have to resort to considering to change your management company or the people that are managing the business now because it looks like they're not doing a very good job of collection, which is a very important part of their job. Or more likely, you would be able to have to force yourself to put more staff into collecting instead of doing the other jobs which are related to actually maintaining the property. You have to focus on collecting money. Now, what if I told you if you could solve the overdue property fees collection problem permanently with a right action? That's why we're talking about payback. Payback helps with property fees collection by changing the behavior of the owners who are not paying to change them all to pay on time. Now, most of the time, I think we and you already have a plan for how to handle overdue collections. That would probably be that you're giving an initial period for the owners to pay the bill, and once they're overdue, it goes into a collection cycle. And you've already decided what actions you're going to take at each stage from start to beginning to make sure it gets collected, including what's the penalties, when you'll start to do that, and what's the amount that deserves such an action. That action may be something simple like saying that we're going to charge interest on the overdue amount if you don't pay by this date. Or it could be other things, such as that you would place your name on a defaulters list and show the name, the unit, and the amount that you've been owing, including how long you've been on the list. Or we move to other actions which are really inconvenient for the owners, such as to block their access pass so that you have to register every time you want to enter the property. Or even more serious things like disable your water supply, all the way up to initiating even legal action. Now, if you have a plan like this, it takes effort to carry it out. Instead, you can take that plan and enter that whole plan into Payback. And once you do that, the Payback system will take over to manage and control and run that system consistently for every single overdue bill that you want it to handle automatically. What happens is based on each stage and at the right date, the system will begin to send an email to the owner telling them about what's the due amount, when it is due, and what's going to happen if you don't pay by that date. We'll also help by sending an SMS reminder to the owner's mobile phone 3 to 4 days before the date is due, so that it helps them to remember that they're supposed to pay. If they don't, it goes into the next stage of the next action, which is the more serious penalty than the earlier one. Eventually, they understand that it's not a person that's running this, it's a system. And so they are unable to escape having to have penalty after penalty being imposed upon them and would probably understand it's better to pay up. Now, if any of those actions require a penalty to be taken by an action, then the system also coordinates this. It will send the message, usually using an SMS, to the right staff to tell them what actions to do. For example, telling them to disable the water for a particular unit number on a particular date, or telling another person that's responsible for putting the name, the amount, and the due date of the bills that these people have not paid, all the way up to sending an automated email to your legal firm to tell them to send the legal letter served against the owner to take legal action. Payback also provides an online login portal for staff and for owners. Staff can manage the system of collection, and for owners, they can use the system to log in and update the details, such as the fact that they've made a payment or the fact that they need to change their email address or phone number or other information about themselves. Thank you.